family, we're going to be looking at Sleep Token. The song is called Chokehold. This one has been requested ad nauseum. There's been a lot of people requesting this one. Chokehold by Sleep Token. And family, if you are from the Tool community or from any other community, definitely, check this one out. There's been a lot of people requesting this one. Salute to the chat. Hello, Frosted Flakes. Maggie, what's happening? Someone says, hey, bro, you're my inspiration for my day-to-day. Salute. That's what this whole channel is about, the accumulation of insights. I have no idea what we're getting into here. We're about to check this song out. Sleep Token Chokehold. Let me know in the chat, what album is this song on? Because right now in our Sleep Token journey, we're on This Place Will Be Your Tomb. We got done with the Sundowning album. I don't know if this one is on This Place Will Become Your Tomb. Gigi, what's up? Salute to Gigi. But we're going to get right into it, family, with no further ado. This is Chokehold by Sleep Token. Let's check it out. Let's talk about it. No, first of all, can you guys see the screen? Can you see this? Is over here. I think it should be like a black rectangle right there. Can you see the black rectangle? Take Me Back to Eden. So Leah said this is part of Take Me Back to Eden. Family, let's get right into it with no further ado. Talk to me in the chat. Let me know. Album 3, first song. Shout out to Leah. Thanks for being here. That is a grimy, grimy sound. I don't know if Sleep Token necessarily does that on purpose. I know that it's very difficult to kind of pinpoint where Sleep Token is going with the sound that they produce. We're gonna let them cook. Anonymous says it's the album opener. Salute.
When we were made, it was no accident. We were tangled up like branches in a flood.
Guys, that opener is so creepy already to me. Because when he says, when we met, it was no accident, right? And we say that often, it was no accident, right? Like, what do we mean when we say something was no accident? Like it fit together so perfectly, you would assume that there was some, transcendent will bringing you together. But then he says we were tangled up like branches in a flood, which kind of shows that not all things which attract each other are safe, right? Just because you were made for each other, right? Like a spider's web was made for the fly. It doesn't mean that it ends well for the fly necessarily. You know what I mean? I love Sleep Token's lyrics. They're so deep. He's just like, when we were made, it was no accident. And that's all romantic until he, compares you to branches getting tangled together in a disaster, right? Let's go back and we'll go back a little bit. We're going to let him cook, chat. Talk to me, please.
We were tangled up like branches in a flood.
Maggie, I completely agree with you. She says, I love their noises they choose, like grinding sounds, but with a pitch. And then when Vessel starts singing, it's like sometimes he's like singing through his teeth. Like, I can't describe it, but it's just a very strange style. Let's let him continue to cook, fam.
come as a blaze. A sacred guardian.
Yo, that was fire. I come as a blaze. That was flame, buddy. Do that again. What?
I come as a blaze.
That's fire.
A sacred guardian.
Talk to me, please.
So you keep me sharp and test my worth in blood.
You keep me sharp and test my worth in blood. He's essentially saying, I'm willing to have you test the lengths I'm willing to go for you. How scary is that? Imagine that someone you cared about told you that, right? Imagine somebody you love says, I'm willing to have you test my worth in blood. It almost reminds me of like a gang initiation. Like in gangs, when you want to get initiated into a gang, your worth is tested in blood. Your dedication has to be proven like an initiation, right? There's a theory posited. I think it was Rupert Sheldrake. Don't quote me on that. But John the Baptist, right? There's an interpretation of John the Baptist baptizing people and like holding them underwater, right? Longer than they may have wanted to be held underwater, so that he kind of initiates them in this, where he's like, he brings you out of the water and you're like, right? It's kind of like it's your initiation into the baptism. And then in Judaism with circumcision, right? You have to be circumcised. You have to be tested in blood. What do you guys think about those kinds of trials to prove your commitment? It's like now, even in the army, even in the military, we have like, boot camp. We have different kinds of initiations, different trials you have to pass to become like special forces or Navy SEALs and things like that. And there's blood, sweat, and tears, you can test my worth in blood, right? There's always just kind of a small level of toxicity when Vessel is talking. Continue, please.
You got me in a chokehold. You got me in a chokehold. You got me in a
Guys, I think this is on the official Sleep Token channel. If anybody has any insights to the meaning of this like warrior looking bug, give me some insights into that.
beneath the stormy seas, above the mountain peaks, it's all the same to me. It makes no difference.
Ooh-wee. I mean, so he's definitely talking about a cognitively limited state here, right? Definitely. He's always chronically hyper-focused over sleep. But notice, right, the chorus is saying, you have me in a chokehold. Listen, I don't know how many of you have ever been in like a chokehold, like a truly locked chokehold. Nothing matters in that moment, right? Or for those who've ever like been in a, serious injury or sustained, a broken arm, a broken nose, having the wind knocked out of you. You just zero in that instance and nothing else matters, right? So he's like, beneath the stormy seas, above the mountains, and, all of these things. It makes no difference at all. Is the sleep token relationship the type of relationship that you want to be in? CHVSE77 with the $9.99 super chat. I deeply appreciate it. He says, just a thanks for your musical therapy. Salute. This has been an amazing journey. We're going to continue. We're going to let him cook. Please continue to cook. Now I want to hear that transition again.
Beneath the stormy seas, above the mountain peaks, it's all the same to me. It makes no difference.
Yeah.
I've seen my days unfold and the impossible. I've turned my walls to gold to bring you home again.
Yo, there's nothing like it. There's no sound quite like the one that Sleep Token is able to. I want to hear those 4 bars again. Pardon me, family.
I did no difference.
Yeah.
I've seen my days unfold and the impossible. I've turned my walls to gold to bring you home again.
See, at first glance, and listen, I'm willing to argue with the chat. At first glance, that seems like a romantic line. I'll turn these walls to gold to bring you home again, right? Like the walls are my boundaries, maybe, my insecurities. I'll turn them into something beautiful if it'll bring you back. But it can also be read in a more menacing way, right? Like he's saying, I've done things that other men consider impossible to get the things I want. And I will do things you couldn't imagine to bring you back, right? You know, Vessel sometimes takes this menacing tone that's overlaid with a thin romantic layer, right? But Vessel definitely believes that he and Sleep are like one. Because at the beginning of this, he's like, we are made for each other. Even if I'm the fly and you're the web, right? Even if you're the flame and I'm the moth, right? It's a very, very interesting kind of paradox. You know, Greg just said anxious attachment talk. Yes, my wife and I were just studying, attachment theory. It might be fun to cover on the channel. You know, Sleep Nomad does a lot of good work on philosophy. Like, I think every day they're releasing like a new 3-hour, AI produced, philosophy deep dive. Yeah, ancient attachment for sure.
Seas above the mountain peaks, it's all the same to me.
It makes no difference.
I've seen my days unfold and the impossible. I've turned my walls to gold to bring you home again. So show me that which I cannot see, even if it hurts me, even if I can't sleep.
Show me that which I cannot see, even if it hurts me. Fam, here's what's crazy. And this goes kind of right back to the chokehold idea, right? When you're in a chokehold that's tight enough, you're either going to awaken a part of yourself that you've never seen before in order to get out of it, or you're going to just submit and pass out, right? But show me what I cannot see makes it seem like this chokehold that I'm in is exactly what I needed to see what I'm truly made of. That's scary deep, right? It's almost like, bring me in to get me out, right? Darcy says, I relate this song to finding God. You see what I mean? Like saying something like that makes me want to re-listen to this song with that interpretation in mind, right? And that is the sign of great art. You know, that's the sign of great music, is that there's a perennial pattern that you catch. It's like, it's not necessarily about any one situation. If it was super one-dimensional, it wouldn't be a great song. It's a great song because it's like, man, you've caught on to this pattern, right? Which all of us can kind of see in various different ways. Someone says, I'm wondering, are Sleep Token fans as singular in their adoration as renegades? Salute to the renegades in the chat. I respect it. But I think that I'm starting to really get a handle on why this song is called Chokehold. It's not just because the beloved has the, the lover in a chokehold, right? That I'm nothing without you. I feel, it's not just that. It's that the chokehold actually awakens a part of you which can't be awakened otherwise. It's like the pain. Sorry, kind of had a bug flying. It's like that pain kind of brings up a carnal, primitive version of yourself, which may not be awakened otherwise, right? Do you hear that last gasp of air? So now, right? It's so cryptic. That song was fire. Oh my gosh. Is it this one? It's like, oh man. Na 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 na. I would love to hear Vessel sing this a cappella, or just with some violinists and some cellos, right? I want him to really bring this down and maybe, salute to two. Definitely salute to two, one of the true gods out there, buddy. What are we talking about? However, I would appreciate a version of this song which was just stripped of the drums, which just had a really deep, cello and violin, right? And just let, Vessel go ham on that one, buddy. Huh? I'm going to get to the chat. If someone says, Mr. Biscuit, you need to go re-listen to Take Me Back to Eden now that you've heard this. Wow. Does Take Me Back to Eden have a new meaning given this track? Someone says, I enjoy Rin a lot, but if I have the aux, it's Sleep Token every second, and I'm not sorry. Pass Maggie the ox and you're getting trouble. I want to go to a Sleep Token concert just to see what's happening in the Selah moments. When I talk about the Selah moments, I mean those moments where, you know, you just have this really, you know, orchestral moment of, you know, the song just, and there's no lyrics. The Selah moment of any song is just when they decide to take a break from the lyrics and they do either a guitar solo or a drum solo. I want to see what the crowd is acting like in those instances, specifically with Tool and Sleep Token. Specifically with Tool and Sleep Token. Someone says, Encore, listen to it now. What are we listening to now? What should we go to? What Sleep Token should we go to? Immediately. Because we're here for it. I was waiting for your face at that gasp. Someone said they saw Pink Floyd in '94. Pink Floyd were innovators. I mean, I think there are some bands where it's like you're just kind of forced to imitate. You know, it's like you can't really, you know, Pink Floyd is one of those where it's like they kind of changed the genre after that, almost like what Eminem did to hip hop. You know, a lot of people are like, oh, you know, they complain to lyricists about sounding too much like Eminem. It's like, well, you have to. Eminem changed what it meant to be a lyricist. You know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, what can you really do when you kind of get one of those? Alan says, keep yapping, King. Look forward to the rest of This Place Will Become Your Tomb uploads. Is that a fact? We need to go on, you know, more Sleep Token deep dives. I like doing this live too. Now that I'm kind of getting a hang of what it means to, you know. Take Me Back to Eden. There's a callback to this song in it. Somebody needs to give me because I think when I started with Sundowning, someone told me there were previous songs to Sundown. I'm like, how was there previous? I thought Sundowning was the first thing that they released. Someone said, don't say Infinite Baths because you just changed my mind. That is my favorite by far of the entire discography. Patiently waiting for my pre-order Infinite Baths shirt. Someone said, you, sir, are fire. You are fire for allowing me to do this. This is bananas. Like being a YouTuber at 39 years of age. What are we talking about, buddy? This is lit. Albums 1 and 2 are both masterpieces. Listen, how often should we do lives? Because I mean, you know, I'm thinking about like every Saturday, you know, but should there be more lives than that? I mean, it's like, what are we really here for? You know what I mean? Like, you guys have to let me know. Go to my, what is that little, is it the community section? I promise I'm going to be more involved in the community section because people have complained. And listen, I smoke a little Zaza. I'm 39, I'm a man of a certain age. So, you know, sometimes I do a little and I forget a little bit. But I'm going to be more involved in the community chat, seeing what you guys are here for in terms of the lives. And someone said I look good for 39. Wait till I take off my hat, though. See, that's I wear the hat so that I get the Ice Cube thing. So many people say I look like Ice Cube. I do not look like Ice Cube at all. Yay, yay. Ryder says, I will show up for more Sleep Token lives. Lit. The Sleep Token cover of Hey Ya? Wait a minute. Stop it. Stop it. I said knock it off. There is no Sleep Token cover of Hey Ya. I'm looking that up right now. Sleep Token covered Hey Ya? Sleep Token covered Hey Ya? Bro, we're going into it immediately. We're going into it immediately. Someone says Blood Sport from the room below. I think we listened to Bloodsport. Did we not do the Room Below version? Because Bloodsport, we did, I believe, at the end of Sundowning. Look that one up. Family, listen, we're going into Hey Ya. What are you talking about? Andre 3000 is goated. I love y'all, family. We're here for it. Let's do it.
My baby don't mess around because she loves me so, and this I know for sure.
Let's go. And it even has the melancholy piano that this song really deserves. Remember when Andre released this, he kind of put that upbeat thing to it to kind of capture the irony, right? That we want to dance even though the song is sad.
But does she really wanna, but can't stand to see me walk out the door?
Fam, isn't this about his relationship with sleep too? I think that's why he did this. He took this song and offered it to Sleep. Because this song also encapsulates Vessel's relationship with sleep, right? That is fire.
Don't try to fight the feeling, cause the thought alone is killing me right now. Thank God for a moment for sticking two together, cause we don't know how.
Yo, for some reason I was worried. Look, for some reason I was worried that Vessel wasn't going to go for that high note. And I was just, there was part of me, I was like, oh gosh, is he going to do something unique? Is he going to try to, because that Hey Ya is like, it's the spirit of the song, right? And with this kind of melancholy piano put to it, oh, you gotta be kidding me. Yes, I need to hear it again. Yes, I do.
Thank God for a moment for sticking two together, cause we don't know how.
Fire. Maggie says, don't ever doubt my sweet emotional boy Vessel. Salute. I called, I was doing some Falling in Reverse reactions, and I said that Ronnie Radke is emotional. And listen, it's never a slight to call a musician emotional. I think it's more of an insult to say a musician isn't, right? The best musicians are the emotional ones, are the ones who kind of have, they're really kind of emotionally fragile, with the exception maybe of Prince. Prince was kind of, Prince was kind of asshole for the genius that he was, right? But I mean, Michael Jackson, Eminem, Tupac, Ren, very, very emotional, right? And they can kind of bring that element out into the music. I love how they do this hook.
If you've got it, oh, you think you've got it, but got it, just don't get on, there's nothing at all. We get together, but separate, so it's better when there's feelings involved. And they say that love is forever, and what makes love the exception. Why are we so in denial when we know that we're not happy here?
If this this song hadn't been written by Andre Three Stacks, it would fit perfectly well on a Sleep Token album. That's what's messing me up right now. But I mean, here's the thing. I think that may be the reason that Vessel decided to do this cover. It's a perfect song for the Sleep Token mythos, right? It fits right in. Guys, this is one of the things that's the most touching and the most haunting things about music, is that "hey ya" doesn't mean anything. Like if I were to come up to you and say "hey ya," you know, what was it? Busta Rhymes and Old Dirty Bastard were like, "Hey ya 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 ya, oh ya 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 ya, got you all in check," right? Ya, "hey ya" doesn't mean anything. And yet, when Andre sang it, it meant something. But the thing is, when Vessel is singing it, it means something slightly different. And we put together meaning. It reminds me of relevance theory. Relevance theory as a cognitive science was put together in 1986. I was born in 86. Salute. Salute to the 80s babies. But relevance theorists ask, how do we say so little and mean so much? That's the big question on the mind of the relevance theorist. How are we doing that? How can Vessel sing "hey ya" and have it mean something deep that it didn't even necessarily mean with the meaning of the original writer? Andre 3000 was getting something different across with the drums and the all right, you know? It's phenomenal. Like, music has its own spirit. Guys, I don't know if you appreciate that as much as me. I don't. Maybe you do. But when he does, like, listen, Vessel rarely does like runs. He's not somebody who's he doesn't showboat with his voice a lot. You know, he doesn't do a lot of crazy runs when he sings. He doesn't you know, but when he does those little things, listen to that again. Just hear me out. This part. This part. Okay, so he ended it kind of creepy, which, you know, why wouldn't he? You know, but that little, I don't know, just the last time. See, that reverberating echo is a little, that's a little unsettling. But they you know, they want your feet firmly planted in the Sleep Token universe. So they're like, you know, don't forget, you know, don't forget about the toxicity. Bro, what an amazing recommendation. Wow. Fam, I have a date with a beautiful woman who's upstairs, who dropped my daughter off at her mother-in-law's. So I bid you adieu until next time. Please, I would deeply appreciate if you would go over to the community chat on this channel and let me know how often you could be here for these lives. And if you are willing, even as a fan of Sleep Token, to maybe join me as we go down different rabbit holes. And I know some of you is like, oh, I'm only here for Rin, I'm only here for Tool, I'm only here for Sleep Token. I respect it. Let me know how often you'd be available, and I will be corresponding with you. I appreciate you, family. Much love.